I was literally in bed like 2 minutes ago and decided that I wanted to film this real quickly because I just remembered that I have some of these books here now because I went and got them from the library today. This is my Black History Month TBR. It's quite excessive, so I know I'm not gonna get to all of these, but I wanted to talk about them because I think we need to be encouraged to read Black authors and just generally marginalized authors, but like Black authors specifically this month. I think it's important that we make an effort to read these voices throughout the entire year. So my little list, I actually like have handwritten it and everything. I'll not get to all of these this month, but that means that I can continue throughout the rest of the year. This is my little bullet journal. I started bullet journaling this year. Where's my list? Hello. Right. I'm stupid and I haven't actually written down the author's name to all of these, but everything will be linked down in the description. Right, first book I wrote down for my little TBR, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. I'm actually currently reading it as an ebook, so I can't show it. I'm quite enjoying it. It's a little slower because I think it's got a lot to do with because of the fact that it is an ebook, and all the pages have like such like big text and like so little text on each page, so I think I'm reading like 20 pages, when in fact I'm reading like 5. It's essentially about Maya Angelou's upbringing, childhood, part of her memoirs and stuff. Then we got Their Eyes Were Watching God, which I've actually already read earlier this week. I was listening to the audiobook. It's about this woman named Janie and her life, essentially, like how she, like where she grows up, when she like marries, and when she maybe like marries again and stuff like that. It's basically about her life in the 30s in America, I believe, and it's definitely like about female empowerment and stuff like that, being like a strong Black woman and stuff. Then I have a book that I actually have with me, got it from the library today, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison, I believe. Yeah. It's essentially about a man who goes underground because he's sick and tired of being invisible, like the Invisible Man. Basically about what it is to live in a white society when you're not white. I think it's a little older, actually, this book. When did it come out? Ooh, 1952. I thought it said 1912. I was like, what? 1952. I don't know much more about it. I know that it's really big, so I'm scared. Ooh, I just hit my guitar that I can't play. I'm definitely hoping... Why am I still holding it like this? I'm definitely hoping to get to this soon. I'm definitely going to prioritize the physical library books I have more because I have to return them, obviously, eventually. And this one is big. I'm scared. I'll try to get to it because I really want to. Then I have Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, which I own. Here it is. Because I own it, I'm not going to prioritize this. Wow, English. Because I can get to do this whenever in the year. And like I said, I want to like make more of an effort. I don't want to just read Black authors this month during these like 28 days and then just be like, nah, I'm done now, I've done my duty. This is basically about two people who move from Nigeria, I believe. One moves to America, one moves to London, is what I've gathered. And I've owned this for a couple of years, so I'm definitely excited to get to it, hopefully at one point this year. I've read like non-fiction stuff by this author, but I've never read her fiction, so I'm really, really pumped about finally reading it. Then I have Beloved by Toni Morrison, which I also own. Here it is. I own it in Swedish. It's called Älskade. Look at this gorgeous like design. It's from the like Sweden did this Nobel Prize winners, like female Nobel Prize winners thing. We have no Nobel Prize in literature this year. That's what I'm trying to say. So a lot of like companies got together and made these types of books. And I got this and a couple others. Again, because I own this, I'm not going to like prioritize it, and instead like probably get to it another time this year, but I'm still having it on my list. This book is about Seth, or Sethe, a black woman that escapes Kentucky and goes to Ohio to escape slavery. I'm basically just trying to translate while I'm reading. Yeah. I'm not like super stressed about getting to this year. That sounds awful, but like I bought it in like December, so I'm not like you have to read it this year. I can read it later as well. I'm not in any hurry. Then I have Kindred, which I have on audio, by Octavia E. Butler. I know the author. It's like sci-fi, I think. I don't know much more about it. I know that the author is very well loved, and I would like to read it. And I had it saved to my like Storytel account before I decided to like make an effort and make this list and stuff. The next up I have Homegoing, which I think it's about two sisters or something. Honestly, I don't know the plot to a lot of these, but it's fine. I'm pumped anyway. I have it on audio as well. I have quite a few of these on audio actually, so hopefully I get through them throughout the month. Then I have a Swedish book called Maj betyder vatten, which means May means water. It's like a really recent release. Came out sometime in January, I want to say. I think it's about this family that lives in Tunisia. Is that the country's name in English? I don't know. I actually don't know that much about this book either, but I have a goal to read more Swedish books this year, like if the authors are Sweden-based, and this one is. Obviously, she's still black. I wouldn't just put a random Swedish author in here. And I have it on ebook on my Storytel app, and it's gonna be a struggle to get through. I tried to like look if I could get it from the library, but like everyone in this city are on hold for that book, so I was like, okay, I'll read it on my phone. Then I have Pride by Ibizu Boy, which I actually listened to in a day on Monday or Wednesday. Earlier this week. Anyway, it's Friday today. And it's essentially a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, set in the Bronx or Bushwick. Either way, this like rich family moves in next door to this like big ass house that they renovated and whatever. And the main character, Zori, doesn't like it. It's essentially Pride and Prejudice, but set in the modern world between like two black teenagers, and it was so good. I was really surprised, like not because the premise sounded bad, but because I have read American Street by Ibizu Boy and I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. And this one really, like, it was real nice. Obviously, like, it had pacing problems. I think everything went by way too quickly, and we didn't really properly dive into certain relationships. But it was still real nice. I think the main character was very developed, and I enjoyed it. It was very quick as well. So, then I have an anthology called Black Enough that includes a lot of different authors. And I have it on audio, and I'm hoping to like listen to it here and there, like a story at a time, like slowly make my way through it. I haven't started it yet, but I'm very, very excited because there are a lot of great authors in there, such as Jason Reynolds, I believe, Nick Stone, J. Coles, I think, as well. Ibizu Boy, I know Ibizu Boy is like edited it, but I don't know if she has a story in there as well. But I'm very, very excited about that. Then I have a physical book. Where the hell is it? There. Friday Black by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah, which I've heard it being described as Black Mirror in like book form. I've not watched Black Mirror. That's a really hard word to say. Mirror. Anyway, but someone on Bookstagram actually recommended me this book. It's a short story collection essentially about racism Actually, let me read you. Racism but managed through virtual reality. Black Friday except you die in a bargain crazed throng. Happiness but pharmacological. Love despite everything. Is that essentially like the little, I don't know what's called, headline, tagline. But yeah, someone on Bookstagram recommended this to me when I posted a little sneak peek to my list about Black History Month, and I saw that it was available at my library, and I was like, okay, I'll get it. I didn't think it would get here this quickly, but it did. And I've started it briefly when I was at the library earlier, and I think it's gonna be real good. Quite interesting. Quite interested in it. Then I have Miles Morales by Jason Reynolds. The thing about this book, I tried to read this like either last year or in 2017. I was not a fan. I don't know how long into it I got, but I think I was just not prepared for it to be like so juvenile in a way. I mean, Miles, how old is he? Like 16 in this book? Or is he younger? And like some people are calling it middle grade, some people are calling it YA. I think if it's YA, it's definitely for like a little young adults. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying I was very surprised because I wasn't prepared for it, and I just couldn't finish it because of that. And I was also like, me and library books either like will have a really great relationship, or I like force myself to try to get to them quickly because I have to return them soon, and then it's just not, I'm just not enjoying them, and I just probably DNF them. But after Into the Spider-Verse, which is the best movie of the year, along with Shoplifters, after seeing that, I'm like definitely more interested to get more of Miles, and I think I might appreciate the book more because I feel like I wasn't quite finished. I want to give it another shot, so hopefully it will get here soon. I don't have that on my list as well, but I also have like reserved one of the like Ultimate Spider-Man comic books that has like Miles as the main character. I think it's Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm not sure. It hasn't gotten here yet, but this is like not related to my Black History Month TBR, but I also have like volume 8 and 9 of Miss Marvel because I'm catching up and waiting for the last one. I'm so sad. Anyway, so I'm like really into, like, I want to read more comics essentially. So then I have Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. I read Giovanni's Room by him and I liked it. I think I was at like the wrong time in my life to read it because I didn't love it as much as I thought I would, but I figured instead of like rereading Giovanni's Room, which I want to do anyway, I could continue my exploration of this authorship instead and get something else of his from the library. And Go Tell It on the Mountain is like his most famous work, I want to say. Then I have A Princess in Theory and Once Ghosted Twice Shy, which is sort of like a companion novella to A Princess in Theory. It's essentially about this woman, or woman, who gets emails from someone who's like, we're betrothed, or whatever the hell, like, you're supposed to marry me, I'm a king, and she's like, what the fuck, delete, block, and report. But then it turns out that that's actually what's going on. She's supposed to marry this prince, or something, and the prince, like, meets her, but then she doesn't know that he's a prince, so he decides to, like, continue this little act, and they get to know each other and stuff, and I have it on audio as well. And then, like, I'm like, that sounds really cool, but then there's a companion novel that's queer, and you know, I love my queer stuff, so I'm like excited about Princess Theory, but I'm also like super excited about the novellas, so I'm gonna listen to them hopefully, if not this month, then next month after that. And then the last thing I have on my list is My Sister the Serial Killer. I think the name sort of explains what's going on. I've heard a few things about this like beforehand, so I decided that, you know what, it's available as an audiobook on my subscription app. Why not give it a shot? you know, it's also like really short. I think it's the shortest audiobook that I have. So me getting to it is very likely. But yeah, I think that was it. My little list is completed. I'm obviously not gonna get to all of these. I think there are 16 stuff on my actual list. And then we also have like a couple of things that I don't think I wrote down. And I also want to get to like a few other things this month. I made myself a little TBR pile actually before I decided to read mostly Black authors. And it'd be nice to maybe get to a couple of those books, though they're not a priority. I'm going to be dedicating this weekend to reading physical books. Probably Friday Black, probably a Miss Marvel volume, and hopefully start Invisible Man because I'm scared. And I think the earlier I started, the better. And especially because it's a library book and I have to return it in exactly 1 month and I can't check it out again. This was it. Random little comeback to BookTube. I started a blog, self-promo. I'm gonna link it down below, but because I think it's easier for me to write down things, I decided that I'm gonna have a blog alongside this and like occasionally film videos. But yeah, I don't know how often. If you have any suggestions, give them to me. But for now, I'm gonna go and lie down in bed again because that's where I was before filming this. Today's been long, it's only 3, so like, thank you for watching. I'm Nat. I didn't introduce myself, but that's okay because you don't really care, or do you? I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. Bye.